Today I've got some etiquette rules for you guys who post in Facebook art groups. Hi, I'm Lisa, the artist behind Lachri Fine Art. Today I'm going to go over a few do's and don'ts of things to and not to do when you're posting your artwork in Facebook art groups. First, do not post links to things or post photos of your work or anything like that with no description. If you just post the photo and that's it, most groups will delete posts like this because it appears to be spam. Was this your painting? Was it somebody else's painting? The link, is the link to a painting video? Is it to a dancing video? We don't know. So you want to make sure that you've got a description of whatever it was that you're doing. Beyond looking like spam, you're going to get a lot more interaction from other members in the group if you've actually talked a little bit about the piece. Let us know what supplies you used for the painting. Let everyone know what you learned from the painting, what your goals were, anything like that. I mean, you don't need to write a book. 1 or 2 sentences is plenty, but definitely give everybody a little bit of insight on what it is that you're posting. Also, it is considered extremely good manners to give credit to whoever the photographer was if you used a reference photo. Number 2, check out the group rules. Usually groups will have their rules set in with their group description. When you join, make sure you've read over those. Don't just join and start randomly posting. Every group is going to have a different set of rules. Most of them are going to be pretty similar to each other, but definitely check those out. And don't think that those rules don't apply to you because you're fancier than somebody else. Those rules are going to apply to everybody, and in order to avoid having your post or you deleted from a group, it's really important that you're following them. And always double check with those rules before posting nudes, because many groups do not allow for this, being that they have members of all ages within the group. Next, be a part of the group. Don't just be one of those people who posts and then walks off. Comment on other people's posts as well. You want to be a part of that group if you want people to comment on your work too. Number 4, this seems like common sense, but it's amazing how many people don't realize they're spamming. Don't spam yourself. Most groups are not going to allow you to sell your work or sell anything within that group. So that's something to be aware of. Some groups do allow for that, and if that's something you need to do within a group, make sure you can do it before you start doing that. But in most cases, if you are trying to sell something to the group, you're going to be removed from said group. Instead of trying to sell your work in these art groups, it is much better, and you're going to get more response from people if you're sharing your technique, sharing things you know, supplies that you used that you liked. Share things that other people are going to be interested in. If you're just going to these groups and posting, trying to get people to buy your stuff, most people are going to completely ignore you, assuming they don't just remove you from the group. There is a time and place to sell your work. Art groups are usually not the place. You also don't want to go into a group, just post a link to your fan page or website and say, hey, follow me. This also is not generally acceptable in most groups. That's not to say that you can't share your work from your fan page. That's a much better way to do it, and I've done a video talking about how to do that. I'll put an annotation on the screen somewhere so you guys can check that out. But don't just post the link and say, follow me. That comes across, again, as being very spammy, and most people are going to ignore you for that. Now, some groups like ours have an actual document where everyone can share their page, or sometimes someone will post a thread asking everyone to share their art page, and stuff like that's okay. But just to come in and randomly post a new thread with a link to your site and beg people to follow you, not the way to go in these groups. Number 5, do not offer unsolicited advice. And this is just a good tip for life in general. But don't give advice to someone who didn't ask for it. If someone just posted a picture of something they just finished and they're all excited and proud of it, don't tell them what you think they need to do to improve. Now, some people are going to ask, and in that case, go for it. Give them all the advice nicely that you want to. But otherwise, if you don't have something nice to say, don't say anything at all. And the only thing that you're actually accomplishing in offering unsolicited advice is irritating that person for you doing it, and then you get irritated because they weren't grateful for it. So just don't do it. Some people are going to learn by trial and error and figuring things out on their own, whereas others want everybody's input. Everyone learns different, so you need to be very careful on when you offer your advice. Next, do not go overboard and post 8 things a day. Most groups are going to have a limit, usually 3 posts per day. If you're posting constantly throughout the day, you're really not going to get as much feedback from people. I know with work in progresses, we get excited and we want to share everybody every single step of the way, and that's cool. Do that for Instagram and Twitter for sure. But for Facebook groups, limit yourself to 3 a day. Otherwise, if you're posting too much, even if you're just posting a whole bunch of your finished paintings every day, people will start ignoring you. So definitely this is a less is more type of thing. Next, do not post in all caps. This is considered yelling on the internet and nobody likes it. So just something you want to watch out for. There's a cool little button on your computer that says caps lock. If everything's coming out written in caps, just push that button. problem solved. My last tip is if you posted something and nobody's commenting and no one's replying, don't get frustrated and take it personally. If you are not violating one of these other etiquette rules that I was talking about, a lot of times it just gets skipped over. If it's a very busy group and a lot of posts are coming up, yours may get bumped farther and farther to the bottom and people miss it. It's not an issue of your work wasn't good or nobody liked it. It's oftentimes just an issue of it got skipped over. So if people aren't liking your comment or you're not getting the response that you want, don't take it personally. It's just so easy for stuff to get lost on Facebook and not every post to be seen. It has nothing to do with how special you are. That's all I've got for you guys today. Thanks for watching. If you're new to my channel, I have new video critiques every Tuesday where I'm critiquing your original paintings or drawings, my own speed paintings, drawings, and tutorials every Wednesday, social media tips for artists each Thursday, and artist vlogs every weekend. So if you haven't already, I would love for you to subscribe, and you can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, Google+, all those social media sites. Links are below in the video description to keep up with news, my newest work, and see real-time clips of whatever it is I'm currently working on. I'll see you guys this weekend for the artist vlog.